Hi, you are here with Miss Alston, and today I'm going to go over your cover letter. I'm going to make sure that throughout these videos I break down each part of the cover letter. Please make sure that you follow along, and please make sure that your cover letter is professional and is formatted just like the cover letter I'm going over today. This cover letter will be available on Google Classroom. So in this video, I just want you to look at the address part of your cover letter. First of all, you are not going to put your real address in the cover letter. I want you to just put small x, lowercase x, and then put Charlotte, North Carolina, and today's date. Okay. The reason that is because I don't want anybody coming to your house because you've uploaded this to your online portfolio, and then some weirdo is at your door. Okay, so then we're going to go space, space, space. You're going to put judges, comma, graduation project boards, exactly like it is here. You'll put Harding University High School. Make sure, I am not going to keep repeating this, every proper noun needs to be capitalized, so make sure that it's capitalized. Put the address of the school, once again, making sure that it's capitalized. And in the next line, of course, Charlotte, North Carolina, 28208, which I believe is our zip code. Okay. Then you'll do space, space. So it should just be double space between here. And then dear judges, colon. Okay. So that is just the very first part. All right. So now let's go over the first paragraph of the cover letter. I do not want you to copy every single word and every single verb that is in here. I'm going to go over what you could replace that word with, okay? So let's use some of these sentence starters, but we're going to also make sure that we have different ones. So, as a student here at, okay, obviously, you're going to put Harding University High School, comma, the graduation project has provided me the opportunity to, they use the word probe. You could use the word explore, further investigate, research, blank, okay? Now, they use the word into, you can't do that. To explore a topic I had long wanted to know more about, but just had not taken the time to explore in depth. Okay, this sentence here you can play with. So you might say, the graduation project has provided me an opportunity to explore an issue that I found really important to my community. Or the graduation project has provided me the opportunity to further investigate an issue or a topic that I've long been passionate about. So you can change that sentence, okay? Next. I chose to research, and then once again, you'll fill in the blank based on what you researched, okay? Okay, so that's our blank. I chose to research blank because of an experience I had in elementary school. So, because of an experience or because of, that might be different for you. So, because of, or because this is something that I see impacting my peers within my school. This is something that I have been dealing with personally. Maybe you decided to choose, maybe you chose your research topic based on some of the systemic issues that you're seeing within your community. You will fill that in, okay? Let's move to the second paragraph. So here, we really just had two sentences providing just an overall introduction to the purpose of this letter. Okay. Now, for the second paragraph, I actually don't care for the first two sentences of the mentor text online. So I am going to give you some sentence starters for how you can format the second paragraph. So the purpose of the second paragraph is for you to share specifically how the graduation project or the topic that you chose relates to you or people within your community, or why you're like passionate about it. So for the first sentence, here are some sentence starters that you can use. So go ahead and already decide which sentence starters you want to use and start filling one in for that first sentence. So you can start off by saying, when I was blank, I observed blank. So maybe when you were a certain age or in a certain grade level, you notice a specific issue within your community, or maybe there's something that you noticed or something that you learned in one of your classes and it made you interested in another topic, okay? Another first sentence you could use is, throughout my childhood, I have noticed, or throughout my childhood, I have been interested in, or throughout my childhood, I have been fascinated with, okay? And then insert the topic, okay? And then another first sentence that you could use is, blank is a major issue within my community that, so make sure that you put the social issue here. Maybe you're talking about environmental justice, you're talking about maybe global warming is a major issue within our global community, or violence, or sexual assault is a major issue within my community. That, and then you might fill that in with that I feel needs to be addressed, or that needs to be discussed further, or that people within my community need to be educated on. So that's how you can fill in that blank, okay? So those are all ways you can start your first sentence. Go ahead and choose one of these, or if you have another one, do that now. So pause the video and write your first sentence. Now, move on to your second sentence, because we want to make sure that we are being very mindful of time as we write our cover letter, okay? So here are some sentence starters for your second sentence. So now that that first sentence was related to how you encountered your topic, or how you've observed issues related to your topic. Your second sentence should be what that encouraged you to do. So here are some sentence starters you can use. Due to my passion for blank, I found it critical to blank. So what did you actually do, okay? So maybe you're passionate about helping people living in poverty. Maybe you're passionate about addressing school violence. Maybe you're passionate about police accountability. Fill that in here. And then I found it critical to, what did you do? I found it critical to educate my peers. I found it critical to get involved with this community event or this community organization. Fill that in here. Here's another sentence starter for that second sentence. Because of my interest in blank, comma, make sure you're also putting the commas, I have been involved in blank. So that's you once again just saying, like, what have you done related to your topic? Okay. Now, if you are basically just chose this topic because somebody told you to, so you're not like super passionate about it, you don't want to write that in a letter to the review board or in a cover letter, you never want to let a person know that you just don't care about something. So what you could write is this. Despite having a limited interest in blank, I still found it important to blank, okay? So even though I might have not been super interested in global warming at first or super interested in police brutality, I still found it to be an issue that needs to be addressed, or that is important to address, or it's important to educate the community about it. Like, it's still important, okay? Go ahead, choose one of these sentence starters, or if you have a better one, you will write that now for your second sentence. Go ahead and pause this video and do that now. Okay. All right. Now, let's look at the third sentence of our second paragraph, and I actually feel like their format is totally fine. Okay? So, I decided to focus my graduation project on, you'll fill this in with your topic, the effects of global warming, or maybe you're talking about the effects, or you can also say another word for effects is implications. Okay, the implications of blank, so that I could expand my knowledge and dispel some of the myths around this topic. So you can say expands my knowledge, or to further my understanding of, you could fill that in with that. And dispel some of the myths around this subject. You can say that, or address some of the misconceptions. You can say address some of the misconceptions around blank, okay? Or to educate my peers about blank, okay? Go ahead, pause this video, and write that third sentence now. All right, we are on the third paragraph. And for the most part, we can use some of the sentence starters in this third paragraph, but you may change them as well, okay? So let's look at the first sentence of the third paragraph. The purpose of the third paragraph is for you to share what you learned related to your graduation project. Please make sure that you do not just copy and paste from your research paper, because the judges already have that. So you're really using this just to provide a summary related to your graduation project. Let's look at this first sentence, okay? Over the years, I learned that, okay, over the years, you could also say throughout my senior year, I learned that carbon dioxide, okay, and other so-called greenhouse gases are just some of the gases found naturally in the atmosphere, okay? So that's all pertaining to their topic. You will need to share just an overview in one sentence. What did you learn from your topic? I learned that maybe there are social and economic, there are serious social and economic implications related to blank. There are problems with blank that need to be addressed. Over the years, I learned that. So just fill that in one sentence, being very concise with what is something that is really critical, important that you learned, okay? However, the most important thing I learned is that many of the gases are released in the Earth's atmosphere because of human behavior. So after that, you want to share the most important thing that you learned from your topic. Like, the most important thing I learned is that many of my peers are not even aware of blank. Or the most important thing that I learned is that we have politicians or senators who are creating laws that do blank. The most important thing that I learned is that our economy will be impacted this way if we don't blank. So once again, pause this video. Okay, we left off on the third paragraph, finishing the second sentence. We're now on the third sentence, okay? This latter knowledge, okay, latter meaning something you just went over, is what motivated me to do my research to find out what we can do to prevent these man-made harmful effects and possibly lessen the destruction caused by natural occurrences, okay? Okay. So, this latter knowledge, you could replace this latter knowledge with, you could just say this motivated me, or due to this I blank, okay? Is what motivated me to do more research to find out what we can, okay? And then obviously you're not going to say this. You might say what we can do about, and then explain what specific problem you want your peers or people within your community to address, okay? All right. Here's where you will provide your thesis statement, okay? You still have to have some sort of sentence that transitions into it. Don't just throw your sentence down, your thesis in the, just throw it on the paper, okay? My research proved that over many years, the effects of carbon dioxide will lead to global warming. Without intervention, carbon dioxide will lead to an uninhabitable future, okay? So go ahead and put down just your one concise thesis, and that is how you will end that third paragraph. So it's just, what is it that overall, what conclusion can you draw from the research that you did in your graduation paper? If your conclusion has changed now that you've researched your topic, make sure that that shows in that sentence, okay? So once again, pause the video and finish that last sentence of the third paragraph. All right, we are on the fourth paragraph. And the fourth paragraph of your cover letter is you explaining what you did for the product portion of your graduation project. Some of you, if you have not done this, you need to at least provide what you plan on doing for your graduation, for this portion of your project, okay? So once again, we'll use some of these sentence starters, but I'll also note where you can change the vocabulary so that you're not just copying everything everything from the exemplar text, okay? To demonstrate my knowledge about, obviously, what you say after that is going to be based on your topic. To demonstrate my knowledge about the negative effects of global warming in a tangible product. Okay. Here's what's key. Remember, your product has to be something that the judges, that shows what you learned. Like, it has to be, whether it is something physically that you did, physically created, that is what the judges have to see, okay? All right, I chose to create 2 models of the Earth, okay? So this person created models. You might fill that in with, I decided to volunteer at this specific location. I decided to interview this specific person and create this based on it, what have you, okay? So it's just a quick introduction in that first sentence. Go ahead, pause the video, and write that first sentence, okay? Now, I wanted to show the condition of the present day. Okay. I wanted to show the condition of the present day Earth as compared to the changes in the sea level in 50 to 100 years because of global warming. Okay, let's let's move on to our second sentence, okay? You could say, I want it to show, I want it to demonstrate, I want it to educate blank about blank. So obviously you can change this verb based on what you did for your product, okay? So whether you want it to demonstrate the process of something, whether you want it to educate your peers about something, whether you want it to highlight a specific problem, how did you do that? Like, what is it that you created? Did you create a video, a podcast, an infographic? What did you do to show that, okay? So once again, pause the video and write your second sentence. Now, let's look at this third sentence, okay? I discovered a number of ways to prevent or lessen the effects of global warming. So, I created an information brochure that offers suggestions for interventions and possibly preventing harmful effects, okay? So, this is then getting into, based on what they discovered, based on what you discovered, based on what you learned from your interviews, based on what you learned from talking to people within the community, based on what you learned from volunteering, what did you create, okay? And in that sentence, be specific about what you created. Like, was it a, I don't even know who looks at brochures today, but was it a video? Was it a podcast? How did you structure it? Okay. Next sentence. Since the course syllabus for my chemistry class contains a unit on the effects of various chemicals and gases on the environment, I then decided to extend my growth and increase student awareness by sharing my knowledge with my peers, okay? So I'm looking at this fourth paragraph, okay? And this fourth paragraph is getting into kind of the motivation, like, okay, because, so here you might say, because there's a rehabilitation center, or because there was an Earth Day event, I decided to, so there you can say, like, what was your motivation? And then comma, I then decided to do what? Okay. So it looks like after the comma, they're getting into who they presented to or who their audience was. Okay. You need to decide once again who's going to be your audience for your product. Next, the process for preparing the lessons with corresponding questionnaires and analyzing student responses has given me a new perspective on the problem of global warming, okay? So you can say the process of preparing what was it that you prepared? Did you do a lesson? Did you do a questionnaire? Okay. And analyzing student responses. Often this is what students do not do. So even if you interview somebody or even if you do a survey, you need to aggregate your own data and explain the results. That's why you need to make sure that you have more than, 10 to 20 participants when you are interviewing people, because you want to be able to say that you want your data to reflect at least a pocket of a group. So if you only survey like 5 people, that doesn't really show anything. Okay. Has given me a new perspective on the problem of global warming. So has given me a new perspective or has provided me insight on blank. Okay. Fill that in. So go ahead and knock out your fourth paragraph. Okay. So you should be on that last line. Go ahead and knock that out. Okay. All right. For this last paragraph, Your last paragraph is really just 2 short sentences. Here, I feel like they were very long-winded, and I'm going to show you just how you can shorten this last sentence, okay, for the purpose of your letter to review board. So, either this can be your first sentence or this can be your first sentence. So, working on this project has deepened my understanding of the harmful effects of greenhouse gases, especially carbon dioxide and some gases we don't often associate with global warming, okay? So you might say, working on this project has deepened my understanding about, and then once again, fill in one thing that it has. You can keep the comma and go comma, especially as it relates to a specific demographic, especially as it relates to a specific problem, especially as it relates to, and once again, you fill that in, okay? So if you don't want that to be your first sentence, you could use this sentence, okay? This experience has also raised my level of consciousness about my actions and what we as humans can do to eliminate many of the devastating effects of greenhouse gases and to make this planet habitable for generations to come, okay? You can say, instead, this experience has also raised my level of consciousness about what? About the social, economic, physical implications of what, okay? And then you can stop there. And then after that, you'll thank the judges for their time. Thank you for your interest. Thank you for your time and interest. I hope you enjoy my presentation. This is going to be future tense because they're reading this before they watch your presentation. I hope you enjoy my presentation as much as I enjoyed preparing it. I never really care for this last line because I'm like, did you really enjoy preparing it? Maybe thank you for your time and interest. I hope you enjoy my presentation as I put a lot of work into it. But you want to definitely make sure that you did. It looks like you put a lot of work into it. Okay. Then you'll put space, sincerely. This is where you will put your signature. So it will be space. There should be 3 spaces between the sincerely, and then you'll type your name. Once again, it needs to be capitalized. I don't know why I have to go over this, but I do. All right, so that is it for your letter to review board.